everyone, welcome back to Anna Nail School English channel. If you are new here, please consider subscribing to my channel. And today's topic is how to do overlay on natural nails using builder gel. So if you don't know how to do this, watch the video till end, and if you have questions, do let me know in the comments. So let's begin. So let's have a quick look at the client's nails, and this is her natural nails, and touchwood, she has like really good natural nails, and the growth is also pretty good. Some of the nails are broken because she does all the housework and stuff, so it's obvious that you can't really manage it while you're doing all the housework. So some of the nails are broken, so we are going to rebuild the broken nails, and then we are going to reshape the grown out nails, and then we are going to make it all look like similar. Okay, so we are going to give it a little overlay because since she likes long nails, not too long, she likes long nails, but because of all the housework she does, they are very prompt to breaking, so we needed something to hold that nails, right? So that's why we decided we'll go with the overlay. So first, as you can see, I just gently push back the cuticles of all the nails. This is like something that we do for all our clients. And after that, I switched to an electric file and I'm doing the dry manicure. Even though this was kind of a first time, she did not have like a lot of dead skin or anything, but yeah, so since the first time I was a little careful. Obviously, whenever you have like a new customer, it's best to walk them through your steps, because they are like what she's doing, and they kind of like try to pull their hands and see what is going on. So just explain and just make them comfortable with your steps and processes. So that is something that I always do, and I also give like a good explanation on how to put our hands on the lamp and what is the process, what is happening, because especially when we are doing gels and stuff, so it might get a little warm, so we need to give like a kind of heads up to the client, right? So I just kind of do like a subtle education setup also while doing the process. So here I'm doing my dry manicure. I am using my diamond bit, and I'm using my machine at an 18,000 rpm speed, and the mode of the machine is a reverse. And like I said, she was like trying to see what is going on, so I had to tell her to relax her hands in between. So this is something that we keep telling, especially for new clients. All clients, they already know how to like hold their hands and stuff. After cleaning the cuticle area, I switched to a hand file. I just wanted to buff off the shine from her natural nails. So I'm using my hand file to kind of buff and remove the shine from the top of her natural nail bed. At the same time, I'm also going to do a reshaping of her natural nails. So we are going to go with almond shape only, because that is the shape her nails are already kind of filed into. So I did not change the shape at all. We needed to keep a little bit of a length and then retain the almond shape. And there are like 1 or 2 nails which we need to sculpt from the scratch. So whenever we are working on a client with different length natural nails, we will see which one has the smallest length, and then we reshape the rest of the nails according to that length. And for example, like this customer here, if you have a client with like really short nail and then there are like regular length nails, then for that 1 or 2 nails, whichever is the smaller one, you can build the length using your acrylic or builder gel or whatever product that you are using. Okay, so reshape it and give it like a similar length. If you have like a completely broken nail, then rebuild it and match it to the other nails. So after buffing and reshaping all the nails, I decided to go with a tip extension. So I'm taking out my tip here. So I have like a really small almond shape tips here. So that's what I'm using, because I don't want to put the bigger ones and then file and reshape. So I decided I'll go with this small almond shape tip, and I measured the tip and then I attached the tip to her natural nails using the nail glue. And once that is done, if you see that if the length is like too much considering the other nails, then you can file, trim, and then match it with the rest of the nails. And at the end of it, I asked her if she can figure out which nails has the false nail, but she said she can't, so that is the best part. Okay, so I'm attaching the nails, the nail tip with the glue, and just making sure that it's placed correctly. After attaching the nails, I kind of checked the other nails, and then I decided to trim down the extra length, and then I also did a reshaping of the tips that we just attached. Okay, so you can also use a paper foam and sculpt it, and I was having a little trouble with the glue for some reason. It was not drying up fast. Maybe this, when I was doing this client that time, it was kind of winter, maybe that's why I was not sure, because the glue I was using was a good quality glue, but still it was not kind of drying faster, and I was having a little bit of trouble here. You can see here me trying to hold and make it sit there while filing, and this was like really annoying. And during the winter season, the entire extensions, whatever clients I had, I only used paper foams because I was so pissed off with this thing happening, the glue. Okay, so I tried a bunch of different glues, none of them worked for some reason. Maybe it's the weather. Anyways, I reattached the tip and reshaped it. After all the struggles, we were kind of ready with all the nails. Now it's time for us to start with the product application, and first we are going with the dehydrator. Apply the dehydrator on the natural nails, and then immediately you can start applying a primer. It doesn't matter what kind of extension you are going to do, dehydrator is something that you must do. After the dehydrator, I started applying the primer, and don't put too much primer, just a thin layer of primer should be enough. After the primer, we need a base coat, because I have decided we will be doing a gel overlay, so we need a base coat. So any kind of gel products that you're using, you will always need a base coat. This helps us to like kind of have a better bond between the product and the natural nail. It also helps your natural nails from getting stained, if you are using color or glitter kind of gels, and so that is the purpose of applying a base coat for any kind of gel extension, unless your brand specifically says there is no need for the base coat. Okay, so whatever products I have, I always apply a gel base coat, whether the brand says you do or you don't, but still I use it, and this is something that I follow. Now the interesting part, product application. So I have IBD Builder Gel. This is a very light pinkish color, and it's a very little on the higher side in terms of viscosity. So since it's a small nail, I thought the viscosity is fine. If it's a longer one, then I would prefer a little bit more loose viscosity kind of gel. But since it's a small nail, then it was fine for me. So first thing, we are applying a thin layer of gel, the same builder gel. So this is called a slip base, because we want the gel to move around when we are trying to reach the cuticle area and the side walls. So you always start with a thin layer, don't cure it. After spreading it, then you can pick up your big bead, and then release it a little bit far from the cuticle, and then use your brush to kind of push back towards the cuticle, and also make sure it's touching the reaching the corners or the side walls of your nails. And then whatever extra gel you have, you can kind of move the brush in a pendulum movement, and then stretch it all the way to the cuticle area, and then kind of lock the free edge area, just the way I'm doing it here. In case if you have a small gap or something around the side walls or the cuticle area, you can use a liner brush to kind of stretch the gel towards that edges or the corners. Okay, just make sure you're doing it like very carefully. And now this is something that I started doing. I just flash cure the gel so that the top side doesn't move until the client puts under the big lamp for the complete cure. Okay, so this is something that I did. No matter whether I'm using a paper foam to sculpt the nails with the gel, or if I'm using just a tips to build the gel, it doesn't matter. Irrespective, I just use my torch lamp to kind of flash cure it for like 5-10 seconds, and then I send it. So that way we can make sure that the client is not spoiling the gel isn't moving or running to the cuticle or anything. Okay, so that is a tip that I can share with you all. Now let's see one more finger. Again, I started with my slip base, and then picked up a big bead, and then put it a little far from the cuticle. then use the brush to kind of push towards the cuticle, and then start pulling the excess towards the free edge. Just gentle movements, you don't have to rush yourself, just be very gentle. And once you have the gel leveled, you can use your liner brush to kind of move or fill the gaps if there is any, and using the liner brush just gently pull the product towards the edges and corners, and then just level it up. So since it's a very small nail, there is no big apex or anything, just make sure you have like a decent thickness to maintain. That's it. Okay, then I am flash curing it, then I'm gonna send it for the full cure. Repeated the same process on all the nails, and all nails are done now. The next step is to wipe off the sticky layer from the nail before we start filing. All kinds of gel products, just make sure you are wiping it with alcohol and lint free wipe, just to remove the inhibition layer from the top side of the gel. Okay, so this way your file won't be clogged with the gels. Okay, this is something that you have to do whenever you are doing a gel application, gel product, whether it's polygel or builder gel or any kind of gel. Okay, after that we started filing and shaping. I'm using a 100-180 grit hand file. Just you don't have to file too much because the application is almost like perfect, so you don't have to do too much of a filing. Just gently buff whatever unevenness is there on the top side of the nails. Just make sure you have like a really nice smooth architecture. Again, the length is very little, so there is nothing much we need to focus on like the apex or anything. We still need apex, but not like a big apex because the length is very little. After filing, shaping and buffing, it's time for us to apply our gel polish. So I'm using Canny's this gel polish. This is one of my favorite gel polish sets of any brand. Actually, all my clients love this collection and it's so pretty. And I'm applying a very thin layer. This is our first layer, and once you apply this, you can send it for cure. I did apply 2 layers of the gel, and then I also added a little bit of glitter ombre towards the tip of the nail. And you have already seen the final finish in the beginning of this video, but I really love the way this one turned out. She kept it for like around 2 months or something, and then she came back for another round, which I will show you in one of the upcoming videos. And this is how we do an overlay. So let me know how you like this video. If you have questions, do let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching.